G'day Spurs fans, Paul Hotspur hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. The sun has risen, it's a new day. The match has just finished. It finished up Galatasaray 3, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Now I might have a bit of a whinge and a moan about certain aspects of the game. So from the outset I'll just say that Galatasaray deserved to win. They were the better team, they won 3-2. I'm not going to say a but. Because I feel that football usually has an energy and you've got to play the conditions and the cards you're dealt with, you've got to deal with them. So I'll get that out of the way. Well done, Galatasaray. You played well in the first half. Dicked around in the second half though. So look, we lost the game and you know what? I'm usually really pissed off after a loss. And I could have been because the way we played in the first half wasn't good. I think we were overawed by the atmosphere. Galatasaray played a good game in the first half. They came at us like we usually go at teams, and the scoreline at the end of the first half could have been more. Fraser Foster had there was good and bad from Fraser Foster. Some of his passing out was terrible. Probably could have been done a bit better for the third goal, but he also pulled off some saves, man. So you know, it's a team game. It's not all down to one man. I think what was disappointing about the first half is we had some young players on there, young men playing, but I think there was enough senior experience around them to help them out, and I didn't really see that from the likes of especially Maddison. So when our players like Bergvall were in trouble, there was no one there to show them the way. So that was a real disappointing part of the first half performance. But hey, look, I think Ange will learn a lot about the players, and I think it's a good experience for them. Good experience because you ain't going to get tougher conditions like that. The commentators, I didn't like the way they were describing it. They said, "Welcome to hell." It's like, it's not hell, it's Turkey, mate. Yeah, it's a tough atmosphere, but I don't know. Saying things like that, maybe it's just me because, because I'm a bit religious, so I think that's a bit overboard, but hey, they've got to hype it all up. I don't know what you say about the first half, man. Our passing was off. Our intensity was off. Bright spark, of course, though, was Will Lancashire getting his first goal for Tottenham Hotspur. I think Will Lancashire had a decent enough game, man. It was a nice little bit of combination play with Johnson, and he got a good result, good reward for it. So well done to Will Lancashire. Bit disappointed the way he got sent off. I don't think it was worthy of a sending off. I think the second yellow card was fair enough, the first one wasn't. But at the end of the first half, I was thinking, oh my Lord, this is going to be a tough day at the office. I was almost in sort of, it's so bad it's funny kind of territory. But it's a game of two halves. And of course, as usual, because we were down at the end of the first half during the watch along, what always happens is when we're down at the first half, all the Ange out knobheads come in and start saying their piece. They didn't come back at the end, so we must have done something better in the second half, man. But who cares about them? But the second half, man, there was a couple of interesting things in the second half. One, Galatasaray stopped playing football for some reason. They started going to ground very quickly, all sort of, just crap. And I think, if I was a Galatasaray fan, I'd probably be more disappointed with their performance in a way than I am with Spurs, because ultimately, I'm not disappointed with the game as a whole. I'm actually reasonably pleased the way we fought our way back into it. Ange made some decent changes at half time that gave us a chance, It gave us a chance, a foot back in the door of the game. And like I said, we must have done something right because Galatasaray stopped playing football. And I thought, could it be a case that if we equalised, we could actually win it, because once you stop playing football, it's very hard to start again. And I thought that was the danger for Galatasaray. But yeah, if that was Spurs I was watching, and you're 3-1 up and you start doing that, I'd be really pissed off. So I've got to take my hat off to Galatasaray for the way they played in the first half and the way they dominated us all over the first half. That was enough to get them the win, and they deserved the win. Like I say, I'm not saying they didn't deserve the win at all. But I think Spurs, to some extent, can hold their heads up, because there was a lot going against us. Not only was it was an incredible atmosphere there, as it should be. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's something you've got to deal with. And, I'd like White Hart Lane to be as hostile to opposing teams as Galatasaray fans were us tonight. I think that's the fans did their club proud tonight. Absolutely well done to them, But we did come back into the game. Dominic Solanke, not on the pitch for very long before he scored. And our tail started to wag a bit. We started to, I wouldn't say quite impose ourselves on the game, but we started to get some attacking moves, which were completely lacking in the first half, really. I mean, I know we got a goal, but in the first half, but generally we weren't very good. We were just sloppy off it. We seemed to be very slow compared to the Galatasaray players. We had a bit of running in treacle for a large part of the game, and in previous performances where we've done that, like the Brighton, the Crystal Palace game, we never really got going. At least we got going, and I think that shows something. There's something to be happy with, is the way. Okay, we started badly for a large part of the game, but we did manage to work ourselves back into it, and we did give ourselves a chance against all adversity. And when I say all adversity, I mean not just the crowd. That's fair enough. I thought tonight's referee was one of the worst referees I've seen in a long time. I think we picked up like 7 or 8 yellow cards. Will Lancashire, I think the sending off was very, very harsh. But for me, there was a clear penalty, an absolutely clear penalty, when Kulu was just charged out of the penalty area into the ground. Hopefully his shoulder's okay. It looked like he went down in a bit of pain there. I don't know how that wasn't a penalty. And I've really got question marks over the referee for not just that, but there were several instances during the game where I thought the referee was bang out of order. And just to prove my point, I think, is the amount of time wasting Galatasaray did in the second half. I was thinking it's going to be 10 minutes added on. It was 7, so the fourth official was near enough with the time there. But during that 7 minutes of additional play, Galatasaray were doing more time wasting. So you think maybe you get an extra minute, 30 seconds perhaps, something like that. No, the referee couldn't wait to blow his bloody whistle bang on 7 minutes. I think there was something wrong there, man. It's not, and like I say, like I'm not blaming the crowd, or I'm not blaming the ref for the fact we lost, because I think if the ref was different, football's football, I think we still would have lost the game another way. But I think that referee questions have really got to be asked about how the fuck he officiated that game. It wasn't just incompetent, it seemed like real bloody bias in there to me. So I thought it was absolutely disgusting by that referee. I don't want to see him run any of our games again, ever. Absolutely appalling. But as we stand here, I think we're fifth. We're fifth in the Europa League table. There's a possibility we could go down to 7th, depending on other results. But we're in a very good position in the Europa League still. That was our toughest game, Galatasaray away, for me anyway. That was our toughest game. I think our next set of fixtures are all winnable, basically. I think probably the most intimidating atmosphere we'll get away at Rangers, but luckily Rangers are a bag of shite, so I think we'll steamroll them. And I think we're going to end up finishing quite high up in the table. So I went into this game thinking I wouldn't be too disappointed if we lost. I think if we'd have carried on playing the way we did in the first half, I would be disappointed, because to show no backbone at all would have been, it's all right to go down fighting, but to just capitulate like we kind of were on the road towards that would have been not good. And I've still got one eye on the Ipswich game, which for me is a more important game. But, you know, disappointing to lose, but I still, like I say, for us to be on the ropes like that and give ourselves a chance, man, there's something there, man. And I think, you know, there were comments in the chat at half-time saying, oh, Ange has got no clue how to turn this game around. Well, for a start, Ange didn't tell everyone to mess up your passing, run slow, you know, or just let Galatasaray players run past you. Ange isn't on the pitch. And I think Ange did the right Ange gave us a chance with his subs. And the players that came on did pretty well. Kulu did pretty well until he was fouled off the pitch. I've forgotten who else came on. Bentancur, you know, it just shored it up. It's just a shame that, you know, I'm disappointed in Maddison in the first half. He didn't, you know, our midfield was non-existent. And it was up to him really to show who's the man. And he didn't do it, man. He didn't do it. Very disappointed by Maddison. But, you know, the fault lies across the board really, doesn't it? But, you know, I expect a bit more leadership from our senior players. You know, it was unfortunate we didn't get that, and we had to resort to taking off Burville. It would have been great if we were still in it and he could have got more minutes. But hey, look, he's going to learn from it. I know there's calls in the dark corners of the Spursiverse to loan out players like Archie Gray and Burville, and I don't think that's necessary at all, because I think they have actually put in some decent, very decent, especially Archie Gray. I think he's been very good for Spurs. And I think Burville has been very good for Spurs. Just he was a bit overawed tonight. Hey, that can happen, man. That can happen. I think he's got it in him to come back. Of course he will. What else was there in the game? Trying to think. Have I covered everything? I think I have, you know. Yeah, at the end of the first half, I thought we were going to get steamrolled, but we got ourselves back into it, and yeah, I'm all right with that. You know, I'm all right with that. I'm at peace with it. We showed some nerve in the end at the moment. So to come away 3-2, yeah, it's a loss, but hey, you know, there was some fight there. There was definitely some fight there. It was all right at the end of it. But hey, we look forward to the next game against Ipswich, which is a golden ticket game, and hopefully for a change we can go into the international break on the back of a win instead of the shame of defeat. But you know, I'm out. Yeah, well done Tottenham. Well done Tottenham. Tough night, but yeah, it was all right. It was all right, and Ange did all right getting the team fired up in the second half as well. So yeah, a loss is a loss. Always hurts. But there's enough there. There's some green shoots of recovery in there in the second half. So I'm quite pleased with that. Anyway, till next time, folks. Peace and love, man. Peace and love. And come on, you Spurs.